Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Pandacharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Paridacharya, Ashtadara Sata Shri Shri Ma. His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem Sakha Ho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gaur Gopinang Shama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Shri Mayapur Dham ki jai. Shri Jagannathpuri Dham ki jai. Gangamai Chamunamai ki jai. Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi ki jai. Samaveda Bhaktavinda ki jai. Transcendental Book Distribution ki jai. Transcendental Prasadam Distribution ki jai. Harinama Sankirtan ki jai. ISKCON Youth Gadam ki jai. Nitai Gaura Pramanandi Haribo Haribo. All glories to the Sambodhi Bodhis, Hare Krishna. All glories to the Sambodhi Bodhis, Hare Krishna. All glories to the Sambodhi Bodhis, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devin Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udidayet Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Vadamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Thank you, Prabhu. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Oh, thank you. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 5, text number 34 through text number 36. Because there's no purport to text number 34 and 35. So I just read those two verses by myself, and we can do text number 36 together. Aninopi bikuva no nabasoru baravita sasajarupa tamacham Jyotir Loka Shalochanam. Translation. Thereafter, the extremely powerful air interacting with the sky generated the form of sense perception, and the perception of form transformed into electricity, the light to see the world. Text number 35. Aninena vitam jyotir vikuva paravikshitam adatamo atatam borasamayam karamaya shayogata. Translation. When electricity was surcharged in the air and was glanced over by the Supreme, at that time, by a mixture of eternal time and external energy, there occurred the creation of water and taste. So text number 36, we'll do this verse together. Jyoti Shambho Nusashrishtam Vikuvan Brahma Vikshitam Mahim Ganda Gunam Adat Kara Mayamsha Yogata Jyotishambho Nusham Stritstam Bhikkuva Brahma Vikshitam Mahiganda Guna Ada Karamaya Shayogata Jyotishambho Nusashrinsta Vikuva Brahma Vishitam Mahiganda Guna Ada Karamaya Shayogata Jyotishambho Nusam Shrishtam Vikuva Brahma Vikshitam Mahinganda Guna Ada Karamaya Shayogata Jyotishambho Nusam Shrishtam Karamaya Shayogata Karamaya Shayogatam Yatishambho Nushan Srishtam Vikuva Brahma Vishitam Mahiganda Gunada Karamaya Shayogatam Yatishambho Nushan Srishtam Mataji's Jyotisha, electricity. Ambaha, water. Anusamshrishtam, thus created. Vikurat, due to transformation. Brahma, the supreme. Vikshitam, so glanced over. Mahim, the earth. Gandha, smell. Gunam, codification. Ada, was created. Kala, eternal time. Maya, external energy. Amsha, partially. Yogataha, by intermixture. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Thereafter, the water produced from electricity was glanced over by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and mixed with eternal time and external energy. Thus, it was transformed into the earth, which is qualified primarily by smell. Purport. From the descriptions of the physical elements in the above verses, it is clear that in all stages the glance of the Supreme is needed, with the other addition and alterations. In every transformation, the last finishing touch is the glance of the Lord, who acts as a painter does when he mixes different colors to transform them into a particular color. When one element mixes with another, the number of its qualities increases. For example, the sky is the cause of the air. The sky has only one quality, namely sound. But by the interaction of the sky with the glance of the Lord mixed with eternal time and the external nature, the air is produced, which has two qualities, sound and touch. Similarly, after the air is created, the interaction of sky and air touched by time, the external energy of the Lord produces electricity. Next, the interaction of electricity with air and sky mixed with time, the external energy and the Lord's glance over them produces water. In the final stage of sky, there is one quality, namely sound. In the air, two qualities, sound and touch. In the electricity, three qualities, namely sound, touch, and form. In the water, four qualities, sound, touch, form, and taste. And in the last stage of physical development, the result is earth, which has all five qualities, sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. Although there are different mixtures of different materials, such mixtures do not take place automatically, just as a mixture of colors do not take place automatically without the touch of the living painter. The automatic system is factually activated by the glancing touch of the Lord. Living consciousness is the final word in all physical changes. This fact is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita 9:10 as follows: Maya Dyakshena Prakriti Suyatesa Charam Charam Hetu Nanena Kunteya Jagat Vipa Nivartate. The conclusion is that the physical elements may work very wonderfully to the layman's eyes, but their workings actually take place under the supervision of the Lord. Those who can mark only the changes of the physical elements and cannot perceive the hidden hands of the Lord behind them are certainly less intelligent persons, although they may be advertised as great material scientists. Om Agyanatiminandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Umilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manopishtan Stapidan Yena Buddhare Swayanupakada Mahyan Dadati Swam Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamanam Shri Gurung Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sakrachatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Radita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinna Bandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kamchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindava Nishwari Vishabhanu Sudhe Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakau Patarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Padithanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasade Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jyotishambo Nusham Shritam Vikuva Brahma Vikshitam Mahinganda Guna Ada Kala Maya Shayogata. Translation again. Thereafter, the water produced from electricity was glanced over by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and mixed with eternal time and external energy. Thus, it was transformed into the earth, which is qualified primarily by smell. So, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada, he said that from the description of the physical elements in the above verses, it is clear that in all stages the glance of the Supreme is needed with the other additions and alterations. In every transformation, the last finishing touch is the glance of the Lord, who acts as a painter does when he mixes different colors to transform them into a particular color. So it reminds me a verse from the Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, actually Prabhupada, he quotes this verse in the purport also. Prabhupada said, he quotes this verse, Maya Dyakshena Prakriti Suyatesha Charam Charam Hetu Nanena Kunteya Jagat Vipa Nivatate. This material nature, which is one of my energy, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Srila Prabhupada, he wrote purport to this verse saying, it is clearly stated here that the Supreme Lord, although aloof from all activities of the material world, remains the Supreme Director. The Supreme Lord is the supreme will and the background of this material manifestation. But the management is being conducted by material nature. Krishna also states in Bhagavad Gita that of all the living entities in different forms and species, I'm the Father. Aham picha pita pitam. Krishna said in the Gita, that he is the seed-giving Father of all living entities. The Father gives seeds to the womb of the mother for the child. And similarly, the Supreme Lord, by his mere glance, injects all living entities into the womb of material nature. So again, here in the purport, he said, by Krishna's mere glance, he injects all living entities into the womb of material nature. So, because Krishna is actually, he's spiritual. So any one of his senses can perform the functions of, any other, of his senses. That means, but for the conditioned soul, for us, our eye can only see. We cannot eat food by the eye. But for Krishna, he can eat through his eyes. That's why, when we offer, food stuff to the deities, it looks like, after the offering, all the food stuff are still there. But actually, the deities can eat the offerings simply by seeing the offerings, So the non-devotees, they cannot understand this miracle, you see. Yeah. But that is the, miracles of Lord Sri Krishna, because all his senses is completely spiritual. Yeah. Any of the Lord's senses, he can perform any other function of any other senses, Yeah. But for us, we condition so we cannot do that. Yeah. So that's why here Prabhu he said that Lord Krishna, he by his mere glance only, he injects all the living entities in the womb of material nature. And they come out in a different forms and species according to their lust, desire, and activities. All these living entities, although born under the grants of the Supreme Lord, take their different bodies according to their past deeds and desires. So the Lord is not directly attached to this material creation. He simply glances over material nature. Material nature is thus activated, and everything is created immediately. Because he glances over material nature, there is undoubtedly activity on the part of the Supreme Lord, but he has nothing to do with the manifestation of material world directly. This example is given in the Smriti when there is a fragrant flower before someone. The fragrance is touched by the smelling power of the person. Yet, the smelling and the flower are detached from one another. This is a similar connection between. There's a similar connection between the material world and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, he has nothing to do with this material world, but he creates by his grants and ordains. In summary, material nature without superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot do anything. Yet, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is detached from all material activities. Srila Prabhupada, he also said that in the purport of today's verse that the conclusion is that the physical elements may work very wonderfully to layman's eyes, but their workings actually take place under the supervision of the Lord. Those who can mark only the changes of the physical elements and cannot perceive the hidden hands of the Lord behind them are certainly less intelligent persons, although they may be advertised as great material scientists. See, I was born in China, and I was raised in the atheistic way of life. So most of the people in China, they do not believe the existence of the soul or existence of God. They just think that the world it's just naturally there. Yeah, naturally they just think like that, without a supreme being creating or managing. But from here, we can clearly understand that actually everything in this material world has its source. And the ultimate source of everything is Krishna. So, before I get in touch with this Krishna consciousness, I do not believe the soul and God at all. But my god brother, Nathananda Prabhu, he was very tricky. He asked me to. He was telling me that his Guru Maharaj wrote a book, The Science of Yoga, and that book has just been translated into Chinese, and he wants me to proofread that book. And by proofreading that book, oh my God, I got convinced that God must be there, the soul must be there. Because in that book, The Science of Yoga, my Guru Maharaj very scientifically proved that the existence listed lots of proof that God must be existing. Soul must be there. Especially, I remember, he gave an example in that book saying that, say there's a watch here. So, actually, in that book, there are two main figures. One is Sanatana Goswami, who is a preacher of Krishna consciousness. Another main figure is a student from China. Yeah. He was a student here in America learning the science. And Sanatana Goswami gave Li Guangsi, his name is Li Guangsi, the Chinese student is Li Guangsi. He gave an example to Li Guangsi, and he asked him, say, I have a watch in my hand, and he asked Li Guangsi, you can have a guess. How many parts is made? This watch is made by how many parts? And Li Guangsi say there are 100 parts. And Sanatana Goswami said, okay, now I how to say in English? I take all the parts apart. Yeah, break the watch to all the parts, and then I put in my hands, and then I throw all the parts into the sky, and all the parts will fall on the floor. And Sanatana Goswami asked Li Guangsi, after 1 year, 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, or millions of years, will these parts automatically, become a watch? And Li Guangsi, he thought for a long time, and finally said, no, it's impossible. And Sanatana Goswami said, yes, exactly. Unless there is an intelligent person to put all the parts together, it's impossible for all the parts to become a watch. And then Sanatana Goswami told Li Guangsi, So similarly, this material universe is the same thing. It organized so nicely, exactly like the watch. The sun will arise at a certain time, and will set at a certain time. Everything is, and all the planets, they are running, in its different orbit, and they will not, crash with one another. So nicely organized, and you scientists are saying there's no brain behind all the arrangement. And in this way, Li Guangsu was convinced of the existence, of God and soul, you see. Yeah. So I'm still remembering, the stories, in my Guru Maharaj's book, The Science of Yoga, It changed my life. Yeah. So actually, today's verse is very technical, I actually do not know really how to say, Yeah. So I just stop here, Are there any questions or comments? Maybe Achita Prabhu can, give some insight, Prabhu. Please. Something, Achita Prabhu, yeah, please. Oh, yes. Dear Arit Prabhu, yeah.
This point of how you were mentioning that when you offer the food to the deity, a layman, a person who has no devotion, they cannot understand how it's happening.
Right.
But a devotee can understand that. So it reminded me of how when Madhavendra Puri, he did the Annakut ceremony, so the deity ate everything.
Yeah.
And he actually asked, I want more.
Mm.
And so all the devotees who were bringing all these bogat for offering, they were like, oh, we have to bring more. And then seeing how the deity is accepting the offering, people from all other places, they started coming to Madhavendra Puri and asking him, oh, we want to make an offering also. So that kept going on for like many villages came, and it kept going on for a few days like that.
Mm.
So devotees, they can see how these things happen, but unless someone has devotion,
Exactly.
they cannot understand, they cannot see how it's happening.
Right.
That was a good reminder. Thank you.
It reminds me another story of a Brahmana boar, you see. One day, because the Brahmana, he is always very dutiful to make offerings to the deities every day. But one day he has some business to do, so he cannot do the offering. And he asked his son, which is only 5 years born, asked his son to do the offering on his behalf. And the son said, okay, I'll do it. And then, at the lunchtime, the board bring the offering plates and put before the deities, and ring the bell and ask, oh, my dear Lord, please come and eat the offerings. Please come and eat. And in the beginning, the deities have nothing happen, and the board become really worried and agitated, and he pleaded to the Lord, my dear Lord, please come and eat. If you don't come and eat, otherwise, when my dad come back, he will chastise me, He was saying like that, So he kept pleading the deities to come and eat. And finally, the deity come and eat, and eat all the offerings. And when his father comes back, he asks, oh, my dear son, where's the prasadam? And the son told his father, the deity has eaten all of them. There's no prasadam. I'm so sorry. The deities have eaten all of them. So in the beginning, the father, he didn't believe, He was thinking maybe his son is very mischievous, just mischievous activities like that, He didn't believe. But he really wants to find out what really happened. So the next day, he finds the same excuse. you know, to tell his son that, today I also have to go to do some business. You please continue to do the offering. And the son said, okay, I'll do that. But instead of going for some business, he stayed back at home and watching through a window to see how his son is doing the offering. And then, the son, come with the plate of foodstuff and offer to the deities and ring the bell and please and request the deities to come and eat. And the same thing like what he did yesterday. And to his father's surprise, the deity did come and eat all the prasadam, all the foodstuffs. And then the father becomes so, excited and happy, He realized that actually his son is really a great devotee. And he come and hug the son like that, Reminds me of that story, Yeah. Are there any other questions or comments? Yeah. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much for coming. Gantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhaktavinda ki jai. Haribo, haribo.
Or you die, as you like. And there was a butcher. He blessed him, Ma jiva ma mara. You don't die, don't live. So these words are very significant. That I have already explained. Still I am explaining. The prince is enjoying sense, that's all. He has got enough facility for sense enjoyment. So his next life is hellish. Because if you indulge in sex life, then Krishna will give you facility to have sex life 3 times in an hour. Just like the pigeons, the monkeys, the sparrows, they are very sexually strong. You have seen it. So the facility is given. So princely order, they are after sense enjoyment. So he is blessed that better you live forever, because after your death you do not know what is going to happen to you. You are going to get a hellish life. Better you live for some time. Go on with your enjoyment. And Muniputra, Majiva, Brahmachari, working under the guidance, under strict disciplinary guidance of his spiritual master, he is blessed Majiva. You better die, because you are so trained to enter into the kingdom of God. So why should you take so much trouble? Better you die and go back to God. Majiva. And a devotee, he blessed. Jivova Marova. My dear devotee, Either you live or die, the same thing. And the butcher, he blessed him, Ma jiva ma maro. You don't live, don't die. What is to do? His living condition is so abominable. From the morning he has to slaughter so many animals, see the blood stained, the ghastly scene. That is his livelihood. So what a horrible life this is. So don't live. And don't die also. Because after death, he is going to be in so much hellish condition, nobody can describe. So both life, living condition and death, after death, his condition is very horrible. Anyway, apart from others, the devotee, for him, appearance and disappearance, the same thing. Just like when my spiritual master appeared at Jagannath Puri, he was the son of a very big government officer, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He was magistrate, government officer. And in those days, a magistrate is a big officer in the government, practically next to governor. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur was in charge of the Jagannath temple. That is the system in Jagannath Puri. And the manager in charge of the temple is the district magistrate. So there was Ratha Yatra festival, and the car was passing in front of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house. Bhaktivinoda Thakur's name was Kedarnath Datta. When he was magistrate, he was known as Ken Datta. Kedarnath Datta. So the car stopped before his house, and at that time, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, a child in the lap of his mother, the mother took the opportunity rising on the car. He was magistrate's wife, so he had the facility. Immediately people gave her a way to go in on the top of the car and place the child on the lotus feet of Jagannath, and there were many garlands. One garland fell upon him. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, blessings. This was one of the... There are so many other things. When he was a child, 2-3 years old, he ate one mango fruit which was kept for offering to the deity. So his father mildly rebuked him, you have done very wrong thing. It was meant for deity and you have taken it. You should not have done it. The child was 2 or 3 years old. He took it so seriously that never after that he took mango. Whenever we offered him mango, he said, no, I am offender. I cannot take mango. He was thinking like that. You see. Never in his life he took a mango. He was thinking that I offended in my childhood by taking the mango of the deity. Right? This is the characteristic of Acharya. They teach by their life's action that one should be so much determined that one should not be, a child took the mango, there is no offense, but he took that vow. Another instance, in my presence, at that time we are also young men, and one of my god brothers, his name is Dr. Aud Bihari Kapoor. He is now retired in Vrindavan. Last time I saw him. He was also a young man, and his wife was also young. So we were sitting together talking with Guru Maharaj, and the girl proposed, "My dear master, I want to speak with you." So Guru Maharaj said, "Yes, you can talk whatever you like." So she said, "I want to talk with you secretly, not in the presence of everyone." The Guru Maharaj said, "No, I cannot talk with you secretly. You can talk in the presence of my all other disciples." So, even that girl was just like his granddaughter by age calculation. He refused to talk with a young woman in a secret place. These are the instances. So, in his life, he was Akhanda Brahmachari. Bhaktivinoda Thakur had many other sons, and he was the fifth son. And some of his other brothers also, they did not marry. And my Guru Maharaj, he also did not marry. From the childhood, he is strict brahmachari. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. And he underwent very severe penances for starting this movement, worldwide movement. That was his mission. Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted to do this. 1896, Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted to introduce this Krishna consciousness movement by sending this book, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his life and precepts. Fortunately, that year was my birth year, and by Krishna's arrangement, we came in contact. I was born in a different family. My Guru Maharaj was born in a different family. Who knew that I will come to his protection? Who knew that I would come in America? Who knew that you American boys will come to me? These are all Krishna's arrangement. We cannot understand how things are taking place. In 1936, today is 9th December 1938. That means 32 years ago. In Bombay, I was then doing some business. All of a sudden, perhaps on this date, sometimes between 9 or 10 December, at that time Guru Maharaj was indisposed little, and he was staying at Jagannath Puri on the seashore. So I wrote him later, "My dear master, your other disciples, brahmachari, sannyasi, they are rendering you direct service, and I am a householder. I cannot live with you. I cannot serve you nicely. So I do not know how can I serve." Simply an idea, I was thinking of serving him. How can I serve him seriously? So the reply was dated 13 December 1936. In that letter, he wrote, "My dear such and such, I am very glad to receive your letter. I think you should try to push our movement in English." That was his writing, and that will good to you and to the people who will help you. And that was his instruction, And then in 1936, on the 31st December, that means just after writing this letter, a fortnight before his departure, he passed away. But I took that order of my spiritual master very seriously. But I did not think that I'll have to do such and such thing. I was at that time a householder. But this is the arrangement of Krishna. If we strictly try to serve spiritual master, his order, then Krishna will give us all facilities. That is the secret. Although there was no possibility, I never thought, but I took it little seriously by studying a commentary by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on the Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita, the verse Bhavasha Atmika Buddhi Rekiha Kurunandana, in connection with that verse, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives his commentary that we should take up the words from the spiritual master as our life and soul. We should try to carry out the instruction, the specific instruction of the spiritual master very rigidly, without caring for our personal benefit or loss. So, I tried a little bit in that spirit. So he has given me all facilities to serve him. Things have come to this stage that in this old age I have come to your country and you are also taking this movement seriously, trying to understand it. We have got some books now, so there is little foothold of this movement. Now on this occasion of my spiritual master's departure, as I am trying to execute his will, similarly I shall also request you to execute this